Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Okay, just a very quick housekeeping. Let me know if you can hear me, everyone. Just a very quick housekeeping. Just if you can hear me, you can just add on to the comment section and let me know that you can hear me clearly before we proceed from here. Okay, can I have anyone in the comment section to tell me if you can hear me? Okay, great. I think we can all hear me. Right, all right. Can I have just one more person just to confirm that you can hear me? Just cool. All right. Okay, I have quite a number of rest already. Welcome to side class. I think it's been a very long time in side class. Yeah. Okay, Adiola, we can hear you. Thank you, Adiola. Okay, thank you very much, Adiola. Thank you very much, Bolatito Wisdom. You're welcome. Okay, we can hear you. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, Isaac, Mary, you are welcome. All right, so let's just go right into it. Welcome. It's been a long time in side class. I mean, a very long time. We couldn't hold side class last month due to some logistics, and I'm so glad everyone is here. Again, if you have someone who you think is going to benefit from this class, maybe your colleague, your classmates, your roommates, your workmates, anybody you think would benefit from this class, you can just take the next 1 minute to invite them. It's really going to be impactful, and I'm very sure that you've always gotten value from side class anytime you come, and tonight is not going to be an exception, right? So we have quite a number of persons joining us. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Please, another thing, if at any point you can't hear me or probably my camera goes off, this is YouTube. You might not be able to speak, right? Just type something in the comment section. Let me know if you can't hear me, or if probably my camera goes over something, right? Just so that I won't be talking to myself. All right. Once again, everyone, you're welcome to Sci Class. This is a class of what is not taught in class, right? And tonight we are really going to keep it short because it's already late. We're supposed to start by 8, yeah, but we're going to keep it very short. In the next 1 hour, we should be out of here. Okay, all right. Welcome once again, everyone. So I'm just going to go right into it. Today, our topic is the leverage unconventional tools for thriving in the modern world. The leverage unconventional tools for thriving in the modern world. I think before we start, I would like us to throw more light into some very key terms, because if we do not understand the basic themes in this topic, we might not know where we are heading. And I need to clarify all of this before we start. So if you are currently on this call and you are happy to tell us the meaning of unconventional, can you just type it in the chat box? So what do you think the word unconventional means? I think that's a very good place to start. The word unconventional, what do you think that means? Just head on to the chat box and type it there. There is a massive giveaway for someone here tonight, right? So I mean, you might be the lucky winner of our giveaway. So just tell us the meaning of unconventional. It could be one word. You could explain anyhow you want it. Just go to the comment section. If you know anything about the word unconventional, you can just type it. Let me see in the comment section. So while I am waiting for a response, like I said earlier today, we are going to be talking about the leverage unconventional tools for thriving in the modern world, right? As a background, we are in a modern world, right? Somebody is saying something in the chat box. Let me see. Without chemicals, unconventional, without chemicals. Sophiat must be a chemistry student. Sophiat must be a chemistry student. Okay, let me see the second definition we have. Adela says Unconventional means doing things in a way different from others. Now, understand the word different, right? Unconventional. Thank you, Adela. Thank you, Sophia. Let me see if we have any other comments. All right, someone says, Olawale Scott says that unconventional means doing things. All right, let me see that. Let's bring that up. It means doing things in an unusual way. Unusual way. That's another very brilliant. Underline the word unusual because that is exactly where we are going tonight, right? Let me see. Something unusual. So now, if you look at all of the definitions we have, you would see that there is a common word which is different, unusual, and then another person says doing something in an unusual way. Now, we need to understand that the world we are operating in right now, a lot of things has changed. The world that we are in right now, see, that word you hear every time, or that phrase you hear every time when people say the 21st century this, 21st century that, it is not a cliche. That word indicates that, or that phrase indicates that a lot of things have changed. If we were given the privilege of going back in time, and let's say we go back to 20, 25 years in time, and we take ourselves back, we time travel back to 25 years ago, the things that you will see in 25 years back, you will think that, oh, really, things were really like this. How did people of this time actually survive? And if the people of those times are brought into this time, they might also find it difficult to survive because a lot of things have changed from that period or from that moment till this time. Even 25 years could be too far. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, a lot of things have changed. And one of the major change that we are experiencing in this time is the change that technology is bringing. A lot of times we tag it as a digital revolution, right? You know what? Everybody just follow me. This is just establishing the background for today's class, right? Now, a lot of things have changed, and one of the things is one of the things that have brought about a change is the advent of technology. Technology have changed a lot of things. Technology have changed the way we live. It has changed the way we love. It has changed the way we die. Yeah. It has changed the way we work. It has changed the way we play. It has changed. Now, all of these things that I just said, these are the things we call culture shaping, right? So technology has shaped our culture in a way that is unimaginable today. Now, that being said, it is very critical for us to understand that at this time, we need to understand that the change that has been brought by technology needs to be studied and understood. And in order to survive in a time like this, in order to thrive in a time like this, we need to adopt a new way of thinking as well. We need to adopt a new way of doing things. We need to adopt a new way of survival. Left to you as a human being, as a Homo sapien, according to our species, we have the natural ability to adapt, in fact, to any situation. But then, if the only adaptation you can do as a is as a human is only biological adaptation, right? You will still not make more sense of the time that we are currently living in. So much more than your biological adaptation, there is some sort of adaptation. There are some skills, resources that you need to equip yourself with. There are some knowledge that you need to equip yourself with in order for you to thrive. We don't only want to survive in this time. We don't only want to cope, but we want to thrive, right? And that is what we're going to be talking about tonight in side class. I'm going to be showing you a few things, a few skills, a few resources that you could leverage, right, to thrive in this time. So tonight I don't have any slide for us. So I'm just going to be speaking, and at some point I'm just going to share some images, right? So the first tool that I am going to share with us, that I'm going to share with everyone tonight, the first tool of survival or of thriving in this era that we are in, the modern world, is the tool of self-awareness. Now, someone will expect that, okay, probably I'm coming here to come and talk about some digital tool, install this mobile application, install that software, buy this, buy that, or get this. No, no, no. That's not what we are talking about, because survival or thriving is mostly internal more than external. Thriving is mostly internal more than external. So it is a function of inside outside. If you want to adopt a lot of things to try from external inward, it won't last. But when your system of thriving is driven from inside outside, that is what is going to last. That is what is going to be sustainable. So that is why we are talking about the first tool that you can leverage at this time to thrive in the modern world that we are in, is the tool of self-awareness. And I'm going to break that down. Right, I'm going to break it down. So just listen very well and listen attentively. Now, self-awareness. What is self-awareness? What is self-awareness? By the as a means of definition, self-awareness have been defined by different people, and I think is a word that is very common. Some of us might have heard it, some of us might have read about it, some of us might have maybe seen something related to that. Some of us have even seen movies on that. Some of us have seen documentaries on what self-awareness is. But then I'm going to remind you again tonight that self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own thoughts. Now, take note. It is your ability to recognize and understand your own thoughts, your own feelings, your behaviors, and your identity. I'm going to say that again. Self-awareness is your ability to recognize and understand your own thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, and your identity. It involves being conscious of your own existence and having an insight into who you are as an individual. Now, according to this definition, answer yourself. You are going to be having a lot of reflective moments in this session right now. Ask yourself, based on this definition, are you self-aware? Now, we might not know why self-awareness is important to thrive now, but as we continue, you're going to see why self-awareness is very important to thrive in this time. Now, ask yourself, based on the definition I just gave, are you self-aware? Do you know yourself? Do you know who you are? Do you know your identity? If I ask you right now, tell me three things that are part of you that are a means of advantage for you. Three things that you have that nobody, or let me just say one or two things that you have right now that nobody can have it better than you do. Don't tell me your name, because a lot of people bear that same name that you bear. Don't tell me your beauty. A lot of people are beautiful. A lot of people are handsome. But what one or what two things about you do you know about yourself? Because it is one thing for you to have it, it is another thing for you to know. And that is the point of self-awareness. A lot of us are made up of potentials. A lot of us are made up of certain innate abilities. A lot of us are made up of inclinations that if we know, if we identify them, and if we leverage them appropriately, they are going to be a very, big source of advantage for us in this time. But a lot of us do not know. And that is why I'm asking you to ask yourself tonight, are you self-aware? Now, very quickly, let me tell us two levels of self-awareness. Now, there are two major categories of self-awareness, and I'm just going to tell us two. The first level of self-awareness is internal self-awareness. That is, of course, internal, you understanding your own emotion, understanding your desires, understanding yourself. And then the second level of self-awareness is external self-awareness. And what that means is being able to examine yourself from an outside perspective, to gather insight from the world around you about how you are perceived by others. I know this is very controversial because a lot of times we've heard things like, I am who I am. I don't care about what people think about me. I don't care about what people say about me. I don't care about what people feel about me. But then, if you are going to be self-aware, you have to consider what feedbacks some kind of people give about you. Not everybody. Now, that is the disclaimer. Not everybody. I'm not saying you should take what everybody say about you and take it to heart. But there are some certain people in your life that when they give you certain feedbacks, you have to sit down and consider it. How do people see you? How do you think they see you? Do you know? Do you know what somebody thinks of you? Do you know what people see about you? Now, let me make you to understand today, and now you have started the journey of self-awareness. Now, let me tell you something. You have a blind spot. You have a blind spot. There are some things that if another person do not tell you about yourself, you will never know it. It is in you. It is on you. It is inside of you. It is something you manifest, you do every day. It is something you display every day. But the fact that you display them, that you do them, that you carry them about every time, every moment, does not mean that you are going to identify those things for yourself. It will take another person to tell you that, oh, have you seen or have you noticed these things about yourself? Those things are called the blind spots. Now, let me share something with us. There is something called the Johari window. Johari window. Johari window. I'm going to project it now. There's something called the Johari window. So it will help us to understand this thing that I'm talking about. Now, let me see. I believe you can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, just type it in the chat box. Let me see if you can see my screen before we proceed. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, anybody? I'm trying to project something now, so just let me know if you can see. Okay, yes. Somebody can see my screen. Now, there is something called the Johari window. Now, and what the Johari window does is that it's open up some information for us to help us understand what self-awareness is. Now, Johari window tells us that there are four there are 4 points in this window, right? In this Johari window, there are 4 points. And the first point in the Johari window is your open self. And what that means that your open self is the information about you that both you and others know. That's your open self. There are some things about you that you know and others know as well. Now, that's the open self. Number 2, there is the blind self. That is the second point on this window. There is the blind self. And this blind self are the things about yourself that you do not know. Up until this time, you don't know it, but other people know. There are things that you do every day that you don't know, but other people know. There are things that you engage in. There are things that you carry about that you don't know. Now, I remembered something when we were in primary school. We used to do something. So some of my classmates, you can just sit down innocently and you are minding your business, and someone will write for sale. If you did that when you were in primary school, let me see your hand. Now you are minding your business. You are not even talking to anybody. You are just doing your thing, and somebody from somewhere will just write in a piece of paper and stick it behind your uniform for sale. They will even put price. They will even put price. They say for sale, 1,450. And you will be carrying that thing about. You do not know that it is on you. Yet it is on you. But other people will see that thing, but you would not see it. Now, that is the blind self. There are skills about yourself. There are some of your natural inclinations. Some of you know how to talk, but you don't know that you know how to talk. Some of you are very wise, but you don't know that you are wise. Some of you are very good with writing. By the time you pick your pen and you begin to write things, it makes sense when others read it, but it doesn't make sense to you. Some of you have some in business, in entrepreneurship, we call it unique selling point, USP. Some of you have some unique selling point that you have never uncovered about yourself. It will take another person to tell you. I remember there was a time that this was about 3-4 years ago. I was just having a conversation with one of my friends, and we were just gisting, just very casual gist, very random and casual discussion, and we're just joking. And she said something. She said something that, PST, do you know that you have this natural ability when it comes to speaking? Like anytime you talk, you there's a way you talk that there's a way you help to explain very complex terms, and you make it quite more simpler, and it makes sense when you say those things. It makes sense when you talk. I've heard you speak quite a number of time, and I think you just have some natural inclinations in that area of speaking. Now, this is what I do almost every time, but I have never sat down to come to terms with that myself, that okay, I have a potential in probably speaking, public speaking, or speaking virtually like this. Now, if someone didn't bring that to my awareness, I might not be sitting here speaking to you this evening. So immediately someone brought that into my awareness, right? It makes more sense to me, and then I began to work on it. And that single thing, from that moment, from that point, I began to develop that skills. I began to develop that unique selling point about me that someone helped me to identify. And from that point, I can tell you that in the past 2 years, I've spoken on a lot of platforms, virtually, on site, locally, internationally. That would not have been achievable. That would not have been possible if someone didn't give me that feedback. Now, that is how important. Now, I'm just trying to let you know how important feedback from people that matter in your life is to your, self-awareness. And then the third point on this window is information that you know, but others do not know. And then your unknown self, which is the fourth point on the window, is the information about you that neither you or others know. It is yet to be revealed. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, right? Now, so that is the Johari window. Now, this is to explain to us, this is explain to you that you have blind spots. There are some things that you can never see about yourself. Now, let me clarify again that when you are seeking feedback about some of these things, you are not just asking anybody. You are not just seeking opinion from just random. There are some people that do not qualify to give you feedback about what they think about you. In fact, if such people come into your life and say, okay, this is what I feel about you, you can really discard them. But there are some people in your life that you cannot discard their feedback, and you should be able to identify those people. I don't know what kind of person or who these people are in your life. But for instance, someone like your mentor, if your mentor gives you a feedback, then you should consider it. You shouldn't say, I don't care what anybody think about me. I don't care anybody's opinion. Gen Z now, I am who I am. You are not who you are. You are not who you said you are. You don't even know yourself. You don't even know who you are. Now, sit down a moment and think for yourself. You've been saying, I know who I am since God knows when. Do you really know who you are? Ask yourself again. And now, this is the purpose of self-awareness. I'm going to show us the dangers of not being self-aware and how self-awareness can help us to thrive in this time. So I'm just establishing background so that we can understand how important self-awareness is. Right? Now, what are the benefits of self-awareness? Number one, you have to understand that one of the advantage of self-awareness in this modern time is that self-awareness is going to help you a lot in recognizing some manipulative tactics. See, we are in a time, we are in a world whereby everybody has an agenda. Now, it is you that think, everybody is just doing what they like. Everybody is just moving. You see everybody on the road, and they are smiling at you. They are, you see them online. They are throwing out those contents. You are liking it. You are clicking it. You are everywhere. You think everybody is just going, just they play. Everybody, people who are self-aware, people who know what they want from life, they have an agenda, and they are deploying every tactics available to them to ensure that you are a victim of their agenda. They are developing and they are throwing every tactics to ensure that you are a player in their agenda. Now, if you do not have an agenda yourself, if you do not know what you want from life, if you do not have an idea of where you are going by yourself, it will be very easy for you to be manipulated and drawn into the agenda of another person. Now, the benefit of self-awareness, it helps you to recognize manipulative tactics. Self-aware individuals are more attuned to their emotion and can better recognize when someone is trying to manipulate or exploit them emotionally. Right? Another benefit of self-awareness is that it helps you to make informed decision. It helps you to make informed decision. If you know yourself, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know your natural inclinations, it is going to be easier for you to make some certain decisions. For instance, you want to learn a skill, and then you are wondering, what skill can I learn? If you are someone who is self-aware and you know some of your natural inclinations and abilities, it can help you to direct your focus on one particular skills that matches your natural inclination. For instance, someone who naturally, you just like mathematics, you just like to play with numbers. You just like to play with numbers. Like anytime you see numbers, you are happy. Anytime you see figures, you are just happy. And then you want to learn a tech skill. That's just an example, right? And then you want to learn a tech skill. You don't need to think too much before you begin to say, okay, I think I like numbers. I like to do calculations. I like anything arithmetics. Okay. Then you begin to look into the area of skills like data science and data analytics. If you go into that field, you are likely going to do better and thrive in that field than someone who does not have the natural inclination for that, for mathematics or for calculation. So that point, that's your natural inclination in that field is going to be an advantage for you. Or you are someone that you like say you like designs. Anywhere you see colors, shapes, you just something just leap in you. You feel like, oh, you are very sensitive to design, and then you want to learn a tech skill. You don't need to think too much before you begin to think of skills like, okay, can I go learn graphic design? Can I learn UI UX design, where you are able to attune your natural inclinations to that field? If it is easier, I'm going to say this again, it is easier for you when your natural inclination, when you attune your natural inclination to a certain skill or to certain abilities or to certain competence you're trying to develop. Now, how do you know your natural inclinations? It is through the process of self-awareness. Right? So self-awareness, now that's just an example when it comes to, benefit of self-awareness and decision making. It helps you to make certain decisions, right? And it guides your decision making, right? If you are a student on this call right now, if you are a student, one of the most underrated shortcuts to success in your academics, underrated, unpopular shortcuts to success in your academics is self-awareness. And I'll tell you how. See, I've told a lot of people these things, and I'm going to say it again. If you know what works for you and what does not work for you as a student, you have increased your likelihood of academic success by up to 40%. And what do I mean? As a student, ask yourself, experiment, try different methods. Now, are you a night reader or you are a day reader? There are some people they cannot read at night. There are some people they cannot read during the day. There are some people they need a very loud place to read. There are some people they need a very quiet place to read. There are some people they don't like group discussion. If you invite them to group discussion 500 times, they will not follow you. But then lock them alone in the room, they will keep reading. And there are some people that if you put them alone in a room, 5 minutes they are they are dozing off. But then put them in group discussion, they are able to catch what everybody is saying very fast, and that is what works for them. What do you know about yourself that if you do it now, it can prime your concentration? Maybe you want to read and you're feeling distracted. There is something about you that if you do it now, whether you want to read whether you feel like reading or you don't feel like, if you do that particular thing, you will get yourself in the mood of reading. What are your distraction triggers? If you are able to answer all of these questions and you know all of these things as a student in whatever level of study that you are, higher institution, degree, master's, PhD, you have just increased your likelihood of success in your academics by up to 40%. And I'm telling you this for free, and I'm telling you because it is what I have done over and over and over and over again. Right, so self-awareness is very, very key, very, very important to dive in this time. Now, for everybody on this call, I want us to do something very fast, very, very fast. And that thing is, I want everyone on this call to take a personality assessment, because one of the ways through which, one of the methods through which you can, begin, or you can kickstart your journey of self-awareness is through personality test. Right, and this personality test is going to reveal some things about yourself that you do not know. You do not know them, but it's going to reveal a lot of things. See, I've taken this test a lot of times, and just trust me, believe what I'm telling you, and you would see it for yourself now. So what I want us to do now is we are going to have a 10 minutes break now, and I'm going to send the link to the personality test website. Log out from this log out from this call and go take the personality test, right? Once you take the personality test, now let me give us the guideline. I'm going to put the link up now. Just give me a sec. Let me put the link up. If you have a second device, you can, that's the link right there, systempersonalities.com. Before you go, now, if you have a second device, you can put it on your second device and take the test. You don't need to log in, you don't need to sign up. You are just going to take the test, and then you can take it immediately. Now, before you go, be as honest as possible to answer all of the questions you are being asked. Don't try and form anything. Nobody is looking at you. It is you and your phone, right? So be as honest as possible to all of the questions that are being asked. Answer everything honestly, as honest as possible, so that you can get, if not accurate result, a near accurate result, right? And I tell you, this is something is about to change about someone right now, right? So now you can log out of this call, go onto that website. It takes about 10 minutes to complete. So I'm going to put a countdown of 10 minutes on the screen right now. And after 10 minutes, that is by 20 minutes past 9, everybody is going to return to this call. 20 minutes past 9. A reminder is going to be put on the SciClass platform so that we can know when to return. So by 20 minutes past 9, everybody is going to come back. So I want everyone to go now, log on to 16personalities.com and answer the questionnaire. So when you are done, just click submit. It's going to bring a result for you that is going to unveil and reveal a lot of things that you do not know about yourself. Right, so we can go now. I'm going to just put the timer right here. Welcome back to class, everyone. Welcome back. If you are currently online, please. I think our 10 minutes is up. Let's go bring people back to class. And it could take more than 10 minutes for some. Yeah, it could take more than 10 minutes for some people. We can just give them 2 minutes more. Now, Sophia, are you happy to share your result with us? Are you happy to share your result with us, Sophia? Do you mind sharing your result with us? If yes, you can just respond. I want, okay, Emanuela is done as well. Emanuela, if you can hear me, do you mind sharing your result with us? We'll bring you on this YouTube live. You don't need to turn on your camera if you don't want to. And I want someone to share their result so that we can see how effective this tool is, and then I can show you how you can utilize that result to your advantage. Right. So I want a response from anyone who is done. Just tell us, let me know if you are happy to share, to tell us what your result is. And I'm going to bring you on this live session, Sophia. Now, this is side class. I'm not here to do theory. We are going to be very, very practical. This is not some webinar where someone comes to say, do this, do that, and then you just go. No, it is a class of what is not taught in class. So we are going to be more practical with all of our approach, right? So don't be shy, don't feel intimidated. You don't need to turn on your camera if you don't want to. So Emanuela, you can respond in the chat session, Emanuela or Sophia, anyone who is happy to. Okay, Sophia is happy to. Now, Sophia, what I would do is um let's find out who Sophia is. Sophia, I'm going to send you a link right now. Sophia, send me a DM on WhatsApp. Right, send me a DM on WhatsApp, and I'm going to send you the link to join this live session. Send me a DM on WhatsApp, and I'm going to send a link to join this session. If there's any other person who is happy to share, just let me know. I'm going to bring you on this live session. Sophia, I'm waiting for your DM. Just to make it fast, I can put my contact on the screen. Just send me a DM, and I'm going to bring you up on this live session. All right, more people are joining again. So let me know if you are done with the personality test and you have seen your results. And if you are happy to share that result with us, we'll be so glad. Sophia, that's my number. Just save it. Send me a DM on WhatsApp and I will send you the link. Is there any other person who is done with the personality test and you've seen your results? If you are done with the personality test and you've seen your results, let me know. Just type done in the comment section. Type done. Right. Okay, blessing. If you are happy to share as well, anyone who is willing to share their result, right? Just done. Cool, cool. Now, if you are, I want someone to come on this live session and talk to us, not just type. Sophia, I just put my number on the screen. I'm going to display my contact again. Send me a DM. I'm going to bring you on this live class so that you can tell us. Blessing, if you're happy to share with us as well, I'm happy to bring you on this. Oh, okay. All right. So, Sophie, I'm going to send you the link right now. I've gotten your message already. Oh. If there's anyone else who is happy to share their result with us, just send me a DM right away. And I'm going to bring you on this live session, if you don't mind. Now, the part I want you to talk about is the part where it breaks down everything for you. Not, it's going to display the first part where it is going to give you one code like that, maybe EFNJ or EFJA or something like that. That's not the exact part. If you continue scrolling, you will see a part where it began to tell you uh, um, the kind of career that you're naturally inclined to, what your relationships is going to look like, what your love life is going to look like. Now that's the result I'm talking about, right? That's the part of the result I'm talking about. So if you're happy to share, just send me a DM. That's my contact. Send me a DM and I will bring you to this live session. Okay, Adiola is done. So Adiola, if you are willing to share your result with us, send me a DM. That's my contacts right there. And I'm going to send a link to join the live session right away. Okay. Let's see how fast we can pull that. We promise to spend just 1 hour. Now, there are 7 tools I want to share with us, and we are still on number 1. So I think we are going to have a part 2 of this class because I don't want us to blow our time right here on YouTube tonight. Right. We are still in number 1, and there are 7. We are going to 7. So, but then we need to really deal with this so that we understand and we make good use of what we've learned. All right. I'm still expecting Sophie to join the live session. Okay, Sophie is here. Let me see if I can bring her on board. Okay, someone also is happy to share. Adesa Adiola. All right. Adesa, please join the call. Adesa Adiola. That's Adiola Akinleye, if I'm right. So just click on that link that I just sent you in your DM and come online. I'm going to accept you and bring you on this live session. Yes, please. Adesa Adiola, please come. Emanuela, yes. Emanuela, send me a DM. You have my contact on the screen. Just send me a DM. I will send you the link to come on this live session. All right. I'm waiting. I think Sophia's device is not connecting. Let me check with her. Ooh. Okay, someone joining. Ooh. Emanuela, I'm expecting your DM. Emanuela. Okay, I have Awosonle. All right. No, Awosonle, I can see your DM already, and I just sent you the link as well. So just try and join that link. You can join now, and I'm happy to bring you on this live session. Okay, I have someone just joined. Let me see what that is. Okay, that's Adiola. Hello, Adiola. Can you hear me? You can unmute your mic and speak if you can hear me, Adiola.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you very much for joining and for your willingness to share your result with us. All right. So, have you been able to find the part of that result that began to talk about your career pathway, your relationships, and all of those things?
Yes, sir, I found it. I was talking about introduction, strengths and weaknesses, romantic relationships, friends, parenthood,
Exactly.
career paths.
Exactly. Now, before you share, Adiola, be honest. When you saw those things, or when you got that result, After getting that result, right? How do you feel? What do you feel? Do you feel like,
Well,
oh,
actually,
these guys know me more than I know myself? Does it look like you? Does it sound like what you know about yourself?
to a large extent, it actually looks like me. To a very large
Hmm,
extent, truthfully.
nice. Cool. Cool. All right. So let's see. Right. So you can share with us and tell us what you think about those results. Are they things that really resonate with you? Is it true? Right. So let's talk about your strength. No, let's talk about your career. Go to the part that states career, right? So and
Okay,
let's see
sir.
what you have there.
Okay, it says executives' career paths are often as clear and straightforward as they are themselves, though there are many directions they can choose to go. People with the executive personality type almost end up in situations where they have opportunity to exercise their affinity for organization, structure, and follow through. Providing further focus, executives share a profound respect for tradition, stability, and security, qualities which lend themselves to progressing along clear paths to increased responsibility and dependability. Should I go on, sir?
Yes, please go on.
Okay, it says executive sense of loyalty results in them staying with a single employer as long as possible, and their reference for established institutions often leads to work with well respected organizations, law enforcement, military service, hospitals, and prominent legal firms are all able to recognize executives' long year of service.
All
So
right.
it
Now
says
wait, just
executive personality.
okay. Can you pause there, Adela? Now, based on what you
Okay,
just
sir.
read and the things the result just revealed to you now, what do you think?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? Does it
Well,
look
like I
like
said earlier,
natural inflation? Yeah.
to a large extent, actually, it looks like me, looks like what I do, looks like what I enjoy doing.
Now, I'm going to ask you this one last question. After reading through, now I'm going to charge you to read through the result again after this class. Now, but based on what you've
Yes, sir.
read through, what you just got now from that result, do you have a little bit of sense of clarity about some things you probably do not know about yourself before?
Yes, actually, at least I've seen some things that I did not know that probably I can be involved in and all. So I've actually seen things that can be helpful, that can be helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing, Adiola. I'm going to bring another person up now to share. Now, one thing that you have to understand about this is that about this personality test is that you probably have an idea of some things, but you've not been able to define it. You've not been able to have a word or a description or a terminology for that thing. You probably have a skill or you have an inclination towards something, or you have a unique selling point, you have a unique value that is inherent in you, but you've not been able to define it, you've not been able to give it a terminology, you've not been able to have a word for that thing. Now, this personality test is going to help you capture, if you are honest to answering the questions, it's going to help you capture all of those things and give a definition that you can begin to work with you, right? So let's bring another person up. Nozadesa, thank you very much. I'm really grateful. Thank you, Nozadesa.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, sir.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to have, let me see, Grace. You can unmute your mic and speak now, Grace. Grace, if you can hear me, you can unmute your mic now. Grace, it seems we can't hear you. So Grace is trying to connect, but I think that um, Grace network is not connecting as well. Hello, Grace. I think you're trying to speak, but we can't hear you. Anyways, now I think we can't get to bring Grace on board due to our network or something related. Sorry about that. Now, thank you, Nozadesa, for coming on board to share with us. This is what I wanted to point out to us from bringing people here to share what their result is. Now, if you take that test and you go back to study the results, you will discover that it looks as though these people know you or this result knows you more than you know yourself. So what I expect you to do with the results is sit down and study it. There are some questions you've been asking yourself that you've not been able to put a word to explain it. You've not been able to capture it in a certain term. You've not been able to define it. You've not been able to find a word that capture that thing that is inherent within you. This personality test is going to reveal that thing to you. So study that result and you can begin to find and understand clearly some certain things about yourself. It's going to tell you about careers, skills that befit your natural inclination, that befit your kind of person. It's going to tell you about your relationships. It's going to tell you about friendship, about teamwork, and a lot of other things that will be really, really beneficial to you. And if you want to get more details about the result of your personality test, you can probably subscribe for the premium version of that, and then they are going to download everything and break it down, analyze it for you in a way that would make more sense to you. But you don't need to even subscribe to that. That simple freemium version alone can be a game changer for you. So right, so that is self-awareness. Thank you everyone who took the test, and I believe that you're going to really find it very, very helpful. Yeah. Now that is self-awareness. That is one of the tools for thriving in the modern world. You have to be self-aware. You have to know yourself. You have to know what are your strengths, what are your uniqueness. I said something on a webinar where I spoke yesterday. Life does not reward us for our similarities. Life does not reward you for your similarity with another person. Life does not, the system does not reward similarity. There is nowhere, there is no place on earth, there is no industry on earth, there is no organization on earth, there is no place on earth where similarities are being rewarded. We are all rewarded based on our difference, based on our uniqueness, based on that extra value, based on that extra that we have that others do not have. And that is what define our reward a lot of times. So the process of self-awareness is one that can help you to bring out that uniqueness about yourself, and you can begin to leverage that for um, a lot of things that you want to do, right? I think someone is on board. Let me see if Emanuela can speak. Hello, Emanuela, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, I think your network is breaking as well.
Okay.
But can you speak on? Let me see if we can hear you clearly.
I can hear you. Good evening, sir.
Okay, welcome, Emanuela. Thank you very much for joining and for the willingness to share your result with us. So before you share the results, I just want you to I want to ask you, getting that result, how do you feel? What do you think?
Okay, from the I think personality type they stated there, I was actually surprised though. Like
You were
they said
what?
I'm a debater. I said I was actually surprised when I saw the personality type.
Okay. Have you gone to read the description, the one talking about your career pathway, your relationship, friendship, and all of those things?
Okay, I think mine here just display traits, intuitive, prospect, role, and strategy.
There is another part that described it that he explained that thing more. It talks about the careers that could be good for you, the career pathway that could be good for you, the friendships, the relationships, your teamwork, and a lot of those things. Did you find that part?
I
That
don't
that's
know,
the
but I
part
can't
where you
find
need.
mine here.
No, just explore, check it very well. You will find that part. That's where I want you to check, because that's the part that is much more advantageous for you. So don't worry, everyone on this call. I'm going to
Okay,
do a video recording, a screen recording of how you can access that part if you've not seen it, and I'm going to drop it
okay,
on the side class page for you to explore. Right. So we are actually running out of time. So
okay,
thank
sir.
you, Emanuela. Just try and check out that other part. Right.
Okay, sir.
That's where the real information is. Right. Thank you so much, Emanuela.
Okay, sir.
All right. So you, like I was saying, you have to understand your unique point and leverage it to thrive in this time. All right. So we are out of time. I don't want us to stay longer on this call. Right. So don't worry, guys. The next thing we are supposed to talk about is critical thinking. That is the second tool that you need to leverage, that you can leverage to thrive in this end time. Now we use critical thinking a lot. Like we use that word, we use that phrase a lot in our speech, in our essays, in our communication. We use critical thinking, critical thinking. But I bet it's that a lot of us do not know what critical thinking means. If we know, a lot of us do not know how to apply it. Yeah, and that's one thing that is really lacking in our time today. Critical thinking is grossly lacking in our society today. People are so superficial right now in this current world that we are living in. People are very, very superficial. People don't, the attention span keep reducing. People can't sit down and think. People don't think anymore. People are largely dependent on others to think for them. That's why the business of influencers is going to keep thriving. You know, a lot of us, once we see the one influencer that we follow and we like a lot post something, whether that thing is true, whether it's not true, whether it's correct, whether it's incorrect, whether it's destructive or not destructive, whatever that content is, once it is an influencer that we like, we don't take the time to even check it again. We agree with it immediately. Yes, it's true. That time, that moment when you read something online and you be like, true, true, true. It's not. What if it is false? We are living in a world where we are grossly superficial. We have lost that ability to think critically. We have lost the ability to 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 question stuffs. We have lost the ability of curiosity, right? Critical thinking is grossly lacking in our society today. And I tell you for free on SciClass today that one of the skills that you must possess, one of the tools that you must have in your artillery in this time, in this modern world, is critical thinking. Because if you lack critical thinking, you're going to be cheated on a lot of grounds. You will be cheated on a lot of grounds. So critical thinking is the next point we are supposed to talk about, but this is 9:44. All right, so let me just ask, can we have a 15-minute extension? Just 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I'm going to try and cover this thing and help us to understand what critical thinking is. 15 minutes. Should we have an extension or we should just have a part two and continue later? Let me know. 15 minutes and by 10 o'clock we'll be done. Should we go ahead or stop? Sci class, the choice is yours. 50 minutes, should we go ahead or stop? Let's vote, let's vote, let's vote. If you want us to go ahead, type yes. If you want us to stop, type no. If you want us to go ahead, type yes. If you want us to stop, type no. Someone says go ahead. Okay, I have one already. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I have more votes. Let's see if I have more votes. Okay, I've seen. I have 3 years. 3 yeses. If there's anything like that already. Someone said right on. Yes, you can go. Okay, okay. Side class wants me to go ahead. Now, let's talk about critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Now, guys, listen to the definition of critical thinking. Listen to it critically. Because one of our goal and mission inside class is to empower is to empower individuals to possess those tools that an ordinary average person would not have. And that is why we call them unconventional. It is not usual, they are unusual. If you gather 100 people, it will be hard for you to find 10 that have the ability to think critically. If you find 10 people who possess the critical thinking skills, I mean, that group of 100 is a really great group. And that is why side class is here. We are going to show you unconventional things, advantages that you can leverage to rule your world, right? So now, critical thinking. Now, listen to the definition of critical thinking critically. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observations, experiences, reflections, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief, decision, and action. Don't worry, I'm going to paste that for you. Let me just put that for you on the screen. You can see what I'm talking about. Let me put that for you on the screen. Let me put that for you on the screen. Just hold on a sec. I think I'm able to post that comments. It's taking a lot of space. Okay, cool. Now look at that definition. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to your belief, to your decisions, and to your actions. Now, forget all of the English and let me break it down for you. Critical thinking is your ability to be able to see information, right? Or to be able to look at a scenario, to be able to look at a situation and be able to analyze that situation, analyze it, synthesize it, and use the result from your analysis to make informed decision. There is a difference between making decision and making informed decision. In fact, there are two things in our life that guides our decision making. Number one, emotions. Number two, data. A lot of people, 90 out of 100% of people makes decision based on their emotions, based on what they feel. Now, there are times that your gut feeling, what you feel could be true, but a lot of times it may not be true. So we are in a world whereby it is highly risky to only base your decisions, to only base your judgment based on what you feel, because there are a lot of external factors that are motivating or that are influencing what you feel. There are a lot of things happening in your space that are motivating or that are influencing what you feel. So if you make judgment or if you make decisions based on that what you are feeling, you may be wrong. And the part that people do not pay attention to is the part of making informed decision. And what does informed decision means? They are decisions made based on available facts, found facts, analyzed facts. And that is what critical thinking is about. Now, let me give us some top critical thinking skills that you must possess. And the number one critical thinking skills that you must possess is the ability to identify bias. Side class, you're going to be learning something new tonight. I'm sure a lot of persons on this call have never heard this thing before. I'm not gaslighting you or something. It's just the truth. A lot of people on this call. I've never heard it. I'm not sure if my spelling of biases is right. If it's not correct, just help me correct it, please. Identifying bias. Identifying bias. One of the top critical thinking skills that you must possess to thrive in this time, to make informed decisions, to do the right thing, to think well, to be able to contribute to discourse that makes sense. So that when people are talking about things, highly intellectual stuff, you will not just sit down there and be looking and be saying, what are these people talking about? Right, we are in a generation of people when very stimulating highly intellectual conversation is going on, a lot of people just lost interest, like, and it is not their fault. It is because they lack the faculty to make meaningful deduction from what is being said, to look at the information and experience their environment, make deductions, analyze the information, and make meaningful contribution to that discourse. I'm sure a lot of us have been hearing things about global warming for how many years now? Global warming, global warming. If we start a discussion on global warming now, a lot of us will just sit down and be looking. What's global warming? What's warming? What's global? I mean, this is global here, right? Look at that, global warming, global. No, these are highly stimulating discussions. We begin to talk of things like artificial intelligence now. Some people will just sit down and be looking at you. You begin to talk about geopolitical discussions, Pan-Africanism, economy. A lot of discussions can begin to go on right now, but then because we are so superficial in our thinking, we are unable to contribute to this discourse. Right? So, like I said, that one of the top critical thinking skills that you must possess is your ability to identify bias. And what is a bias? A bias is a systematic error in thinking that occurs when people are processing and interpreting information to make judgments. Right now, a bias is a kind of shortcut that your brain use to make judgments very fast or to make decisions very fast. Biases are a kind of shortcut that your brain use to make judgment very fast. It's a shortcut that your brain uses to skip the whole step of analyzing, synthesizing, evaluating information to make decision. So now, to explain it to a 5-year-old, now the normal process is for you to calm down. Let's say you are going to point Z, right? Let's say you are going to point Z. Now, the normal process to get to point Z is to go from A, B, C, D, E, F, and get to Z, right? But what biases does to you is that biases help you to find a shortcut, clear everything in between A and Z, and carry you from A directly to Z. Now, that is what biases does. Now, let me show some types of biases. And if you can relate with any of these bias, just type in the chat box, just type something. If you can relate with any of the biases I'm going to be sharing now, just type I can relate. Type I can relate, right? If you can relate. The first one I want to tell us is what we call confirmation bias. This is psych class. You've got to learn. You can't come to psych class and not learn new thing. I'm sure someone is hearing confirmation bias for the first time. Yeah. This is psych class. Welcome to psych class. Type of bias that affect our thinking, confirmation bias. Now, let me tell you what confirmation bias means. Confirmation bias is a type of bias that describe your tendency to seek out information that agree with something you already believe. If you can relate, just type yes. Yes, I can relate in the comment section. Now, confirmation bias is a type of bias that describe your tendency to seek out information to confirm or to validate what you already believe. For instance, someone tells you that I'm coming. Someone tells you that, let me look for an example. Now, in your mind, you believe that eating junks cannot make you big or cannot make you fat. Eating junks cannot make you fat. That's what you know in your mind. And someone tells you otherwise, that eating junks can make you fat. Now, instead of considering what that person just said, In a bid to defend yourself and to defend what you know, you will completely sideline what the other person have said and go online and begin to search for evidences that confirm your own belief. And the danger of that is, I tell you, there is nothing you want to support with evidence in this life. There is no view you want to support with evidence. In fact, okay, let me not be absolute. Let me not be absolute in my approach. A lot of views that you might want to support with evidence, right? You would always find evidence for it. You will always find a research. See, the greatest scam of all time. Now, let me tell you this, because when people say, we tend to perceive people who use something like this, when you hear somebody say, evidence have shown that, or research suggests that, we think that these people know what they are saying, or these people are highly intellectual. These people have studied research. This person is brilliant. See, one of the greatest scam of the 21st century is evidence suggests that, or research states that. The research or the evidence that is confirming that thing can be wrong. Think it may be wrong. Now, I'm tempted to open scriptures again, but we don't have time. We have like 4 minutes more. I'm tempted to open the Bible and begin to show us some stories in the Bible that explain this explicitly. Maybe when next we come to side class, I'm going to show us some things. But then, if you can relate with that kind of bias, just type "I can relate" in the comment section. So we call it confirmation bias. Your tendency to discard every other information that you get, any information that does not agree with your belief, you discard it, even if it is true. Do you see where you are cheating yourself? Do you see the effect of not thinking? So if you want to be a person who utilizes critical thinking, when someone says something that contradicts your belief, you don't get angry, you don't get defensive, you ask, okay, why did you say this? That is how to think. That is how to reason. That is how to be intellectual. That is how to be part of the top 1% thriving in this thriving in this modern world. When someone says something that negates what you originally believe, you don't get defensive. You don't try to say, no, I know what I know. I am sure of what I know. Yes, we know that you know what you know what you know, but wait, calm down. What the other person is saying can be true as well. Now, it is critical thinking for you to settle down and ask, okay, why are you saying this? Why are you giving this point of view? And you might eventually find out that it is two things. Either you are correct or you are wrong, or either the other person is correct or you are wrong. Right? So that is one type of bias. Let me show us two more types of bias, and then we'll close. We'll continue from here next week. Another type of bias that is very common, that affects our thinking, is the bias called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm sure you've not heard. A lot of people have never heard of that. The Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. That's it. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Now, this is another type of bias. And what this means, this type of bias refers to how people perceive a concept or event to be simplistic just because their knowledge about it may be simple or lacking. Let me break it down for you. This is a kind of bias that make you think that anything you perceive to be simple is actually simple. The reason why you think that thing is simple or that situation is a simple situation is because you only have a surface knowledge about that thing. So you think your surface knowledge is sufficient enough for you to capture the complexity of that information or scenario or whatever it is. So we are in a time whereby people People see situations, people see information, and because they know little, they know very little about it, they feel like, okay, it is not that hard. You hear people say something like, it's not that hard, it's not that tedious, it's not that difficult. It's not, is it not, what are we talking about? Oh, that one, I know it's very simple. But then in the real sense, they are saying it is very simple because they only have a surface knowledge about it. If they are taking time to dig deep into that matter, they will know that it is not as simple as they think it is. So this kind of bias, right? This kind of bias make people, it make people think that they are smarter than they actually are. And this kind of bias also limits curiosity, right? It limits curiosity. It limits your ability to question stuff. It limits your ability to question stuff. See, one of the ways through which you can get much or get more out of life is by embracing a mind or a art of curiosity. Guys, cyclists, ask questions. Don't take everything you hear for it. It is not what it is. Ask questions. What I'm telling you right now, what all of these things that I'm telling you right now, if there's anyone you think that, don't take my words for it. Ask questions. Go to Google, go and search. Ask another person, okay, yeah, I learned something about confirmation bias. Do you know anything about it? Is it really what this guy said? Now, this is not you doubting what I'm saying, but it is a sign of critical thinking that makes you want to, okay, let's dig deep into this matter. Curiosity. I will say this as I close. Now, there is a difference between academics and education. There is a difference between academics and education. Academics is a system that is designed to put order in the world that we live in the sense that two people can put a knife in your tummy. One will wake you up after maybe 3 or 4 hours, and one will not be able to wake you up again. Now, it is academics that make you know the one that can wake you up, who is a surgeon, and the one that cannot wake you up, who is a murderer. Now, that is academics create that classification, they create that order. Two people can speak very well, they can argue very well. One will argue and prevent you from going to jail. Another one will present argument that will even land you in jail. The one that argues and prevents you from going to jail is a lawyer, right? The ones that can talk and argue that will not lead to anything is just a talker, right? Now, that is what academic does. And see, if the only thing you have is academics, you will still not make much out of life. Education is not gotten in school. Education is not, yeah, you can get a part of it in school, but education is not what you are being taught based on curriculum. What you are learning inside your curriculum is the conclusion that some other people have made somewhere. They are the researches and studies that some other persons have come and they are presenting to you. But education is your ability to understand the world that you are living in, to experience the world that you are living in, and to question that world that you are living in. And out of the questioning, out of your curiosity of that world, your ability to also bet options from your curiosity and know the right options to go for at every point in time. I'm going to say it again. Now, education is your ability to experience your world, the world that you are living in, to question that word. That is where curiosity comes in. You don't just take anything for it. It is a sign of a low thinking individual to just accept somebody tells you this is true. Maybe it's because the person that you like. Now there's a type of bias that says something relating to that. Maybe it's someone you respect so much, or it's someone within your cycle, and the person tells you something because it's that person, you now believe that that is it. It's a sign of, now it's not a sign of disrespect if you begin to question what people tell you. It is just a sign that you are educated, right? So education is your ability to experience your world, to question your world, right? To bet options. and to know the right options to go for at every point in time. And one of the things that classify you as an educated person is critical thinking, and that is what we are talking about here. So you can have degree, masters, and PhD, and yes, you are not educated. If you lack the ability to experience your world, if you lack the ability to ask questions, to question your world, if you lack the ability to bet options from the wealth of options around you, and if you lack the ability to know the right options to which to go for at every point in time, you are not educated, right? So critical thinking is very, very key. And one of the skills of critical thinking is your ability to identify bias. And I have about 5 or 6 more types of biases, but we'll just stop here. I promise that we're going to stop by 10 o'clock, but then this is 10:06 already. So you can now, from sci class, you already learned that you don't just accept that, okay, they've taught us in sci class. Now, this is not all there is about critical thinking. This is not all there is about biases. So I expect a brilliant student, someone who have actually learned in sci class today, to go online and read more about biases. Just go to Google, type of biases, and you will see a lot of different type of biases, and read them, digest them, and see how the that understanding applies to your own life and to your day-to-day activities directly. So I guess we are going to have a part 2 of this class. Sometimes I'm not sure if it is next month, because now we are having a big program coming up next month, and that is our Career Acceleration Masterclass. I mean, it's going to be a mind-blowing event. It's an event that you don't want to miss. Don't worry, we are going to release details about the event very soon, shortly. Please, if you come across the flyer on the sci class page, do well to invite. It's not only for nurses, right? It's not only for students. Everybody, professionals, young professionals, people from other field. Invite as much as many people you can invite. It is Career Acceleration Masterclass. You're going to get the details very soon on SciClass. So have you learned something tonight? If you have learned something, now don't tell me to make me feel good. I don't want to feel good because of your comment. Tell me, let me know if you have really learned something. Just type in the chat box if you've learned something tonight. If you didn't learn anything, type it too, that I didn't learn anything. I didn't get anything in today's class at all. Now, just be very honest, right? Don't try to make me feel good or make me happy. Tell me, have you learned something in class today? Now, let me recommend a book for you guys. If you want to learn more about critical thinking, go and download this book. You can get the PDF. I'll get the PDF across to SciClass. The title is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. I'm going to put it up right there. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Thinking Fast and Slow. So that's a book on critical thinking that you can read, that you can study to give you more insights on that. All right. Let me know if you've learned inside class today. I've learned a lot. Thank you very much for your feedback, Adiola. I've learned something in this class. All right. Thank you very much, Ijoma. Blessing says, I've learned a lot, sir. Thank you very much for your feedback, Blessing. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So I'm going to put up the title of the book again. So I want everyone, you can just try and lay your hand on the PDF and try and read. All right. So once and again, thank you everyone for joining SciClass tonight. If you are here and you're on the SciClass page, right, just go to the SciClass and let us know that you've learned something. Just go to the WhatsApp page. You can take a screenshot. Now, don't screenshot me when I'm not looking good. So let me pose for the camera before you take screenshots. Right, take a screenshot, share something you learn in SciClass. You've learned a lot of new things: biases, critical thinking, self-awareness. Right. So just take a screenshot right now. Go to your status, post it everywhere on Instagram stories, on on status, on anywhere you are, just post it. Take a screenshot of your page right now and share something you've learned inside class. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me, tag me to the post. I'll be happy to share the post as well. Tag me to the post and let us know that you've learned something inside class today. Also, you can share side class link with any nursing students you know, nursing students, registered nurses. Share side class link with them. Let them join. Let them be part of what we are learning. And if there is anybody here that will be interested in attending the INR conference, Institute of Nursing Research Conference, you are really, really interested in attending, and you've not, probably you've not been able to make that payment, Cyclass is willing to sponsor one person who is currently on this class. We have an attendance of everybody in this class. So don't think, don't just go and give another person the opportunity. So everybody in class right now, if you are willing to attend the Institute of Nursing Research Conference, INR conference, I'm sure some of you might have been seeing the flyer, right, flying about. If you are willing to attend the conference, send or say DM. I'm going to post a contact. Just send this contact a DM, right? And we will get back to you. I've learned a lot tonight. Right. Thank you very much for your feedback. Take a screenshot, put it on your status, put it everywhere. Share something that you've learned in class tonight. Share it with everyone. And we'll be happy to repost. We'll be happy to share with our network as well. Right. So I'm going to put a contact on the chat box now. So send a DM to this contact, right? Send a DM to this contact if you are interested in attending the INR conference. We'll be happy to sponsor your registration for INR conference coming soon. I think coming next month, right? All right, that's the contact. Just send a DM, type I am interested in the DM in the number that I just posted, and then we'll tell you the next thing to do, right? Thank you very much, everyone, for joining tonight. Don't forget to share what you've learned. Take it. If you've not taken a screenshot, let me post very well. Take a screenshot now, because all of you must post. Cyclass, all of you must post. Everybody, Sophie, Kenny, Oileye, Modupe Oluwajala, everybody. Let me see. Kenny Moch and the Princess of God, Olola Imo Blessing. Adiola, all of you must post. Adediura, you must post. All right, so let me smile for the camera. Make sure you take the screenshot too. If you've taken one that is not fine, take another one. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. And I will see you again in the next episode of Side Class. Have a very great night and bye. Good night, everyone.